TDK. If you remember the era of tape recorders, you probably know the name TDK not from textbooks, but from cassettes. Their logo could be seen literally everywhere, on store shelves, in jacket pockets, in car glove compartments, and next to home music centers. In the 1970s and 1980s, TDK became one of the symbols of home recording culture itself. But the company's history began long before cassettes, with a scientific discovery in the field of magnetic materials. In 1930, researchers Yogoro Kato and Tokishi Takei at the Tokyo Institute of Technology developed ferrite magnetic materials, a new class of ceramic magnets based on iron oxides and other metals. Unlike traditional metal magnets, these materials had highly stable characteristics, low losses, and could be mass-produced with predictable parameters. It was this combination of properties that made ferrite particularly valuable for the rapidly developing radio engineering industry of the time. On this foundation, Tokyo Denki Kagaku Kogyo Keikei, the future TDK, was established in Tokyo on the 7th of December, 1935. Its founder and first president, according to corporate records, was Kenso Saito, and the company's main task was initially a very practical one: to turn a laboratory discovery into mass industrial technology. As early as 1937, the company began producing ferrite cores under the name oxide core. For the radio technology of the time, this was not just a new material, but a real technological breakthrough. Such cores made it possible to reduce the size and weight of devices while maintaining stable characteristics. It was from this moment that TDK formed its key identity, as a manufacturer of technological materials and components rather than ready-made equipment. After World War II, demand for electronic components grew rapidly, and the company gradually expanded its product line. In 1951, TDK began mass production of ceramic capacitors, which strengthened its position as a supplier of basic elements for electronics. In the same year, the Meguro laboratory was opened, strengthening the research base. In October 1952, the Shimizu plant began operations, where the production of magnetic recording tape was launched. This direction was a natural continuation of the company's work with magnetic materials. It transferred its experience in controlling the structure of powders and magnetic properties to the field of information storage. As early as 1953, synchro tape was introduced, a tape for reel-to-reel recording that quickly found application in the developing market for consumer tape recorders. At the same time, TDK continued to strengthen its position in the component sector. In 1955, the Ulken capacitor was introduced, and in 1958, the Paramista PM4 won the Grand Prix at the Brussels World Exposition. By the end of the 1950s, the company had taken an important step into the global market by opening its first overseas office in the United States in 1959. In the 1960s, TDK actively developed several areas that would later prove to be key to the industry. Historical records link the origins of the magnetic head business for computing technology to 1960, when a ferrite element for magnetic drum heads was developed. By 1962, the boat-shaped head core had been developed, enabling more accurate data reading. These developments became an important contribution by the company to the early computer era. In 1966, TDK began producing cassette tape for the compact cassette format, and in 1968, it launched the SD cassette, one of the first cassettes designed specifically for high-quality music recording. This was the moment when the cassette ceased to be perceived solely as a convenient household medium and began to evolve into a product that was consciously chosen for its quality and reliability. In the 1970s, the company took another technological step forward. In 1973, Avalon technology was developed, a cobalt coating of needle-shaped magnetic powder that significantly improved the sensitivity and durability of recordings. It was precisely these decisions that made possible the level of cassette quality that many still remember with nostalgia. In 1978, TDK expanded the scope of its technologies by introducing Super Avalon videotapes for the VHS format. This marked a transition from audio to video recording, where the requirements for magnetic layer stability were even more stringent. At the same time, the company continued to strengthen its position in the component business. In 1980, multilayer chip inductor technology was developed with three-dimensional spiral conductors inside the chip, an important step in the miniaturization of electronics. In 1982, TDK was listed on the New York Stock Exchange and simultaneously expanded its production base. In 1983, the company officially changed its name to TDK Corporation. In the following years, the magnetic head business continued to grow, thin film technologies were introduced, and in 1994, EMA heads for high-density recording appeared. By the early 2000s, the magnetic media market began to change rapidly. The company gradually restructured its business, shifting its focus to components, power supplies, and sensors. In 2005, Amprex Technology Limited and Lambda Power Business were acquired, strengthening TDK's position in the field of batteries and energy solutions. In 2006, the decision was made to exit the production of recordable CDs and DVDs within the group, and in 2007, the main business of recording media under the TDK brand was transferred to Emation Company. At the same time, the TDK brand entered the consumer audio equipment market, but not through the efforts of the corporation itself, but through a licensing agreement. Emation, which acquired TDK's media business in 2007, obtained exclusive rights to the TDK Life on Record brand for the production of both storage media and audio products under this brand. In 2011, Emation released a series of audio equipment under the TDK Life on Record brand, including boomboxes, portable speaker systems, such as the 360-degree sound cube, vinyl record players, and headphones. However, after about 5 years, Emation stopped using the TDK brand, giving up the license and discontinuing the production of these devices. In 2008, the company merged with EPCOS, strengthening its position in the electronic component segment. In 2009, TDK delisted from the New York Stock Exchange and ceased trading its shares in the United States, finally focusing on its core technology strategy. In the 2010s, the company completed its exit from a number of storage media businesses and increasingly focused on sensors, RF solutions, and power systems. Micronars, InventionSense, and other technology companies were acquired, reinforcing TDK's position in the field of sensors and mobile electronics. In the 2020s, the key areas of focus became next-generation batteries and solutions for modern electronic devices. As a result, TDK's history does not look like a sharp break, but rather a long and fairly logical evolution, from ferrite materials and oxide core cores to sensors, power supplies, and energy technologies of the 21st century. The company has never been just a manufacturer of finished equipment. From the very beginning, its role has been different, to create what the equipment itself could not work without. And if in the middle of the 20th century these were magnetic materials and recording media, today they are invisible but critically important components of modern electronics. That is why, for the general public, TDK's fate sometimes seems almost paradoxical. For millions of people around the world, the name has forever remained a symbol of the era of magnetic cassettes, the very era when music was recorded by hand, when each album took time to make, and when the quality of the tape really mattered. The TDK logo was associated with reliability, neatly labeled cassettes, home music collections, and a whole culture of personal recording. But at some point, that era came to an end. The digital revolution changed everything. Media became invisible, music became intangible, and cassettes themselves gradually became artifacts of their time. And with that, the perception of the company itself changed. For the average consumer, TDK seemed to have disappeared, simply because its products were no longer on store shelves or in desk drawers. In reality, the company had not disappeared. It had simply returned to its original role, that of a quiet but extremely important technology supplier. Today, TDK solutions are found inside smartphones, cars, motion sensors, communication systems, and new generation batteries. They work where the user cannot see them. This is the main answer to the question, what happened to TDK? The company has not disappeared or lost its significance, it has simply ceased to be visible. From a brand that was once associated with a specific physical object, the magnetic cassette, it has become the technological foundation on which the digital world is now built. Thank you for watching. More videos about the history of audio, video, and media technology are coming soon. And, as always, thank you to the channel members for supporting this project.